I had never imagined that a simple act, even with good intentions, could ignite such a storm of silence. That evening, it had rained heavily, and the streets were unusually quiet. As I was driving home from work, I saw a woman standing alone at the bus stop, drenched and clearly distressed. Her umbrella had broken, and buses were delayed. Something about her reminded me of my younger sister, vulnerable, anxious, and in need of help. I pulled over and asked if she needed a ride. She hesitated, unsure whether to trust a stranger. But the storm worsened, and she finally agreed. During the drive, she told me she had been visiting her sick mother and was trying to get back home on the other side of town. Her voice was gentle, but tired. She didn't seem like someone who expected help, and perhaps that's why I felt so compelled to offer it. My house was closer than hers, and I offered her a warm cup of tea and a moment to dry off before continuing her journey. She was grateful, hesitant but too cold to refuse. When I parked in front of my house, the lights were already on. My wife was home early. I hadn't called her to say I was bringing someone over. That was my mistake. The moment we stepped onto the porch, my wife opened the door. Her eyes shifted quickly, from me to the woman. The pause was sharp, the air thick with assumption. Her lips pressed into a line, not a single word spoken. The woman sensed the tension and instantly regretted accepting the invitation. I opened my mouth to explain, but my wife had already turned around and walked back inside. I looked at the woman apologetically, unsure whether to ask her to come in or let her go. But I didn't want her out in the cold again. I asked her to wait a moment and went inside. My wife stood in the hallway, arms crossed, not angry in a loud way, but in a way that spoke volumes. I explained everything quickly: the rain, the bus stop, the kindness. Still, she said nothing. I returned outside and invited the woman in, assuring her it was okay. She entered quietly, sat on the edge of the couch, and held her cup with both hands like it was her anchor. The silence in the room was unsettling. I could feel my wife's eyes on me, full of words she didn't speak. It wasn't about jealousy. It was about trust, and timing, and maybe the fact that I hadn't called. After the woman left, thanking us both sincerely, my wife and I were alone again. We didn't speak for a while. The walls between us felt taller than ever. We had always believed in kindness, in helping others, but this had touched something deeper, something personal. She wasn't mad because I helped someone. She was mad because I didn't consider how it would look, how it would feel. That night, we lay side by side in bed, still wordless. The silence wasn't angry anymore. It was just heavy. Eventually, I reached for her hand, and she didn't pull away. That was a start. The kind of forgiveness that doesn't need words. Still, I knew I owed her more than just silence. The next morning, I made coffee and waited until she sat across from me. I apologized, not just for bringing someone home unannounced, but for not thinking about how that would affect her. I told her I respected her, trusted her, and never wanted to make her feel like a stranger in her own home. She finally spoke, softly but clearly. She said she wasn't angry because I brought a woman home. She was angry because I didn't bring her into the decision. We were supposed to be partners. Helping someone was right, but leaving her out of it was wrong. I understood. In the days that followed, we talked more. Not just about that night, but about everything we hadn't said in a long time. The silence had been a mirror. Sometimes, life gives us odd, uncomfortable moments that shake us, but they also remind us what we've built and what we must protect. And so, the woman at the bus stop was gone, but she had left something behind. A challenge, a wake-up call, a chance to choose communication over assumption, and togetherness over silence.